So if you do the numbers, which we're not going to do them right here, but the death rate in China, according to these numbers, is about 3.5% from the total cases.
But that's where I think it's wrong.
Okay, but let me finish and you establish your...
Okay.
I'm calculating the death rate based on the total number of confirmed cases versus the total number of deaths.
Right.
Okay.
I know.
So based on that, on the 78,000 cases in China and the 2,750 deaths in China, the death rate of the confirmed cases versus the deaths is 3.5% in China, which is the highest. Now, we're going to do the same thing for the outside of China.
Right.
So
we don't have enough data outside of China yet.
Well, we do basically the other, based on this number, we know the 4,100 cases outside of China. And we know that there are 4,100 cases outside of China, out of which there's about 60.
But most of them are recent.
Yes, they are recent, of course.
So they're not dead yet.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So we have 4,100 cases outside of China, and we have 60 deaths roughly from all the countries outside of China, including South Korea. So that means that outside of China, the death rate is lower, is 1.3%. Okay, so those are the things that I come up with on my numbers.
Okay.
And now, if you discard, I'm going to give you a lot of time to talk, but let me finish for a second. If we discount the South Korea, which is basically 1,300 cases, or no, sorry, 1,800 cases, and we go to Western countries, and we start going down here to...
Well, South Korea is not a Western country, but they're a very advanced country.
No,
it's
I
not like they're
understood,
some
but
third world
they
country.
happen, geographically, they happen to be very close to China.
Okay, but Italy.
Yeah, no, that's the thing, exactly.
Italy is very far from China.
Yeah, so here we go. Italy is the next. The others, they have all the cruise ships and all that stuff. But let's go to the first country by cases that is not.
Well, what I wanted you to do, if you could go to the bottom right there.
Yes.
And go to, I believe you can deselect China. Just click on that. Yeah, click on that. And then deselect total recovered. Okay, other locations. Can you make that a little bigger? I think you can make it bigger. You see that little...
Yeah, that's the 4,100. That's what I said.
Right, but look at the chart. Hold on. Move your mouse for a second. There's can you make that bigger?
Right. Yeah, I think so.
Right there. Okay. This is the chart for everybody watching. For anybody listening, the chart is going up and to the right. So this is non-China cases.
This is the spread outside of China,
yes.
Correct.
This is where... This is what's very worrying. That basically you can see most of the cases started around February 10th, 2 weeks ago. And this is when we already very much knew about it and we were taking ultra precautions, or should have been taking ultra precautions, I should say. And it's still spreading like this. That is the definition of an exponential curve right there. And it's not slowing down.
No, right, that's the spread, correct. No, I totally agree. That's basically, we have here, if I mouse over this particular section, we have 4,100 cases as of 2/27, which is today, as we're recording, February 27th. Those are outside of China. But this is just one side of the question. If we go here and total recovered, and, I can also take this, well, this is also exponentially growing the same way.
Right,
so
but total
you're
obviously going to have more recovered people the more
as
cases you have.
Right.
That doesn't mean the death rate isn't lower.
Well, it is. We will get to that in a second too. But we see here the recovered cases were really few, very 30-something, 40. And now we're getting to a total of 33,300 recovered cases, meaning that, yes, cases are increasing. We're now at 82,000, as we said.
But they don't have the death rate.
But we're also recovering.
They don't have the death rate on this. But the death rate would be the same trajectory.
Well, what we do have here, actually, is the daily cases. Okay,
Yeah.
So this is the other graphic that to me is very critical, because this shows the confirmed cases per day, approximately from January 20th, where we had 282 and all that. And then we have this big jump, and then we start seeing, let me finish this part, that we start seeing the recovered cases. Okay, now we're starting to find out people that are actually recovering. And then there's an inflection point here where we start seeing 2,000 confirmed cases with 1.7 or 1,700 recovered.
But what about that big spike in the middle?
That's big spike. We discussed that a few weeks ago when we discussed. That's when China decided to report those extra 19,000 cases that they took back. So the way they were tabulating the cases versus non-cases. So we can get into a detail, but that's the spike that then it went down. But anyways, the inflection point is when you have 2,000 cases confirmed on February 17, and then 1,700 recovered, which obviously is accumulating from people that were infected at this time. And then we start seeing that now we have 1,800 recovered with only 489 now newly reported. Yes. And now we're getting 4,000 recovered versus 1.8 reported. And this now, the green bar, which is the recovered cases, is way over double. Like we have 1.2 versus 2.9, 1,000 basically versus 2.5. So now the recovered cases are way doubling the new cases.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Can I have the computer so I can point things out?
This is there. You can hold the mouse.
Okay, fine. All right. I'll let you talk for a while. Here's why you're wrong. All right. First of all, this number. Let's go with this chart real quick. Yes, if you assume that this number is correct.
Well, I mean, are we going by this chart now? Because we're
going by this chart, but let me finish. Okay, new confirmed cases. In the United States, we have no fucking clue how many people have
just
coronavirus.
Made this R-rated.
That's okay. It deserves to be. We have no fucking clue because the FDA is not testing. Okay, just yesterday, last night it came out that there was a new case in Sacramento. This was reported by UC Davis, and this is the frightening thing. It's the first case in the U.S. where someone got it in California, but they didn't travel anywhere.
Yes, that was the first unknown source case. Yes.
Okay, so they didn't travel anywhere. They weren't in China. They weren't travel. They were literally just a citizen of Sacramento.
Means that they were infected by somebody.
Okay, so now we know that already in Sacramento, there's probably a lot of people in Sacramento that have it right now and have no idea that they actually have it. So, but in the United States, if you go look real quick, let's
drag the map.
Move the map over here. They added a couple cases, 1 and 2. So they're basically saying, okay, there's 2 cases. I'm willing to bet, and we made this bet, and I wanted to make it live on air because I'm willing to bet, and let me say this: I hope I am wrong. I hope I am so wrong, but I'm willing to bet. Today is February 27th. That in a month from now, March 27th, there will be no less than 1,000 cases in the U.S.
I
you
disagree.
Took that bet.
I disagree. We actually.
I wanted to
heavily...
shake on camera. Actually, no, we're not allowed to shake hands anymore. Sorry, no more shaking hands. Do you have hand sanitizer?
No, even fist bump like we used to do.
No, we can do a elbow bump.
All right. Well, I agree. You said that we had a major discussion last night before this podcast.
So I said, all right, I bet you $100.
I disagree with that. I think things are going to get more under control, but.
Let me finish. I let you talk for 10 minutes. Yeah. All right, the death rate. The death rate is not 3% right now. We don't know what the death rate is, but
we know what it is so far. I mean, based on
exactly,
numbers.
and what you just said is wrong. Here's why. It's flawed because your math is flawed because you're assuming the death rate on active cases. We don't know what's going to happen with these 82,000 people. The only death rate we can actually confirm, and this is what I wrote in my newsletter, the numbers have changed a little bit, but when I wrote my newsletter, there were 2,700 deaths and 30,000 recovered. So that basically means that in total resolved cases, resolved means the person either lived or died, basically. There was a 9% death rate. 2,700 of the 33,000 died.
I understand.
That's 9%.
I understand. And you are taking a certain way to.
Let me finish. I let you talk. Let me go. For everybody listening, we don't know how many of these people are going to die. So saying that the death rate is 3% is just patently inaccurate because you're assuming the deaths will stay flat if this number goes up. You're saying that of these people that recover, that there won't be more deaths. That's the 3.5%.
No, all I said is that there are 40% recovered cases, which keeps increasing because.
But of those 40% that recovered, 9% died.
Yes.
Is that right?
Well, yes, when you interpret the number there. But
okay, so that's what I'm saying.
But at this point, as we pointed out here, there are more people recovering.
But that's a different discussion.
No,
I'm talking about the death rate. Let's talk about the death rate.
But you are calculating, David, this is the thing.
I'm talking about the death rate of the cases where we have a conclusion. The person either lived or died, right? And of the people who got it and then either lived or died, so we know this for a fact, this is resolved, 9% of them died, not 3%.
Okay, well, that's fine. But I understand. I mean, you're calculating the death rate based on the people that are with a conclusion, which you said
yes,
is recovered.
that's how you calculate death rates.
Because that's not how death rates are calculated for many other
No.
even diseases. Okay, when you go to the CDC,
That's
or
like
the World
saying
Health,
you're diagnosed with cancer and you have 6 months to live. Oh, but it's day 1 and you're still alive. Oh, so the death rate is 0.
no,
No.
but no, it's different because what we're doing, David, is